Hi, I'm Hoge, the author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. This book. My new pronunciation course opens in just 2 weeks. That's right, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I will open my pronunciation course to everybody, to the whole world. Everybody will be able to join the new course. The course is designed to teach you to speak with a perfect American accent. North American, really. To have clear pronunciation. Pronunciation is so important. When your pronunciation is bad, people don't understand you. When people don't understand you, you feel foolish, you feel frustrated. It's not fun, right? You know the feeling. People say, huh, what, huh? When you speak, it's terrible. Usually that's because of pronunciation. See, people they worry so much about grammar. But really, pronunciation is much more important. Pronunciation is much, much, much more important than grammar. Why? Let's think about it. Why is pronunciation more important than grammar? Oh, someone's saying I want to watch now, but I have class. That's okay. This is recorded on Facebook always, so this will appear. So think about it. What's your answer? What do you think? Why do I say pronunciation is much, much, much more important than grammar? Now, in school, what do they teach you? Grammar, 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 grammar. In school, what do they test you about? Grammar, 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 grammar. In school, what do they tell you is most important? Grammar, 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 grammar. It's not true. Absolutely wrong. Why? So why is that? To sound closer to a native? Yeah, good guess. You are my sensei. Thank you. Just looking at the comments down here. I want you to think about this. You know, I'm going to tell you my answer, of course, in a minute. But I really want you to think about this question of why pronunciation is much, much, much more important than grammar. Why would I say that? And if that's true, why do the schools not teach it? Why do the schools teach grammar, grammar, grammar? But most schools never really teach you pronunciation. They certainly don't train you to have super good, clear pronunciation when you speak English. Why? But I'm saying pronunciation's much, much, much more important. And it is. Pronunciation should be your focus. Pronunciation should be something you focus on, not grammar. Now, vocabulary is useful for sure. But grammar is much less important. And of course, you already know in Effortless English, you learn grammar. Of course, you learn to speak with correct grammar. Yes, yes, yes. But you do not study grammar rules. You learn naturally. You learn the grammar naturally. You learn to use correct grammar naturally, just like Americans and Canadians and British and Australians do. But we're back again to this question. I'm going to put on my reading glasses here so I can read the comments better. Why? Why is pronunciation so much more important than grammar? And it is. So I agree, yes, good. Because it's the base of any language. Yes, indeed, true. Just think of it for very practical reasons. I'm being totally practical. This is not some big theory, not a language theory. It's not some difficult thing I'm trying to make you guess. Just think if you travel to the United States. Imagine you take a trip. You get on an airplane. You fly to America. And then you have a problem. You need help. Maybe you need directions. Maybe you need help with your hotel reservations, you have some problem, you need to talk to an American. You need their help. In that situation, the real life situation, why is pronunciation more important than grammar? Why is pronunciation much more important? Makes you easy to that's right. Makes it easy to understand a native people. That's right. Increased confidence, that is certainly a benefit of pronunciation. But really, that previous answer was the best one. So you'll be understood. It's the number one thing in communication, right? Don't even think about English. Language, any communication, even in your own language. The first goal, the number one thing, is to be understood. To understand the other person, and for them to understand you. If they don't understand you, there's no communication. Zero information. Zero communication. So think about it in a real life situation. If your grammar is bad, that's not terrible. You can still communicate with bad grammar. You can use very bad grammar, very, very bad grammar, and the other person can still understand you. You can still communicate. You can say something like, me needs help. Me needs help. That's terrible grammar. Absolutely terrible. But if you say that to someone, if you say that to an American, they probably will understand you. They will understand the idea. They will understand that you need help. The grammar's terrible, but they'll still understand you. You're still communicating. You can still get what you need. On the other hand, if you say, What did I? The other person will not understand you. That's perfect grammar, but the pronunciation's horrible. There's no understanding. They will not understand you. Therefore, zero communication. They will look at you and go, what? Huh? What? Okay, I'm exaggerating, of course, just to make the point. But I'm saying I need help. I need help. Okay, that's perfect grammar. But if you say it with horrible pronunciation, the other person might not understand you. Therefore, zero communication. So you can see this is a really simple, obviously an exaggerated example, just to make the point, to show you the point that pronunciation in communication, in the real world, pronunciation is much, much, much more important than grammar. Does that mean grammar is completely unnecessary? Of course not. Of course, you will improve your spoken grammar. Spoken grammar does help understanding some. It makes the communication much more clear, of course. But it's less important than pronunciation. It's also less important than vocabulary. With good pronunciation and, enough vocabulary, you can communicate very, very, very well. So, and the truth is, in real life, it's not a choice. You're not choosing pronunciation or grammar. You're going to learn both with effortless English. But my point is, your mental focus, your emotional focus, should be more on pronunciation because it's more important for your communication. Let me tell you another important reason why pronunciation is important. Pronunciation will give you more respect from people. I'll give you an example just from my own life, just for me. And I think I'm typical, I'm usual. I think most people are like me, most Americans, Canadians, etc. When I hear someone speak, like a foreigner, someone who's not from the United States, they're not a native speaker, so a non-native speaker, I should say. British people are foreigners too for us Americans. So, a non-native speaker, when I hear them speak, how do I unconsciously judge their level. Right? I can hear somebody, I've been doing this a long time. So usually for me, I need about 10 seconds. 10 to 30 seconds, let's say. If I hear someone speaking English for about 10 seconds, I usually know immediately what is their level. Are they low beginner, are they intermediate, or are they advanced? Very quickly I know. How am I usually judging their speech? Well, usually it's pronunciation. It's how clear their pronunciation. If I hear someone, for example, I met this girl in Vietnam. This is a perfect example. I met a girl in Vietnam who was, she was actually the MC, the announcer at my events. But I met her at this English school. And we were having a meeting with staff at the school. And I was talking to, different people. Each person would ask a question. So they would ask me a question. So they would only speak for about, 5 or 10 seconds. They would ask me a question, then they would be quiet, and then I would answer. So, they were good speakers. They had good pronunciation, good English, etc. But this one girl, she asked me a question. Just 5 seconds, really quick. And immediately I knew she was super advanced. Why? Because she had a perfect American accent. Perfect. She sounded like an American. So immediately I thought, oh, this girl grew up in America, or she studied abroad in America. She lived in America probably for a while, or at least when she was a kid. And that was really just based on her pronunciation, because her accent was perfect. I didn't have enough time to judge her grammar or vocabulary, didn't care. And of course, later I talked to her, and it was true. She had lived in America, she had gone to a university in America for a while, and she spoke very, very well. Here's another truth. Many Americans, many British people, many native speakers actually have bad grammar. They use bad grammar all the time, especially in speaking, although a lot of native speakers are terrible writers also. So even native speakers make grammar mistakes. Even good speakers make grammar mistakes. I make grammar mistakes sometimes when I'm speaking. I don't care. Everybody does. Tony Robbins, professional speaker, he makes grammar mistakes occasionally. We all do. But we all have, of course, the perfect accent. And so again, my point here is that you will get so much respect by having great pronunciation. Even if your grammar is not perfect, if people hear you speak with a very good accent, very, very clear, American or British, but I'm teaching American, North American English. So an American accent, if you have this great American accent, people will think you are very advanced. They will immediately respect you. Many people will think you maybe lived in America for a while. You'll just get a higher level of respect because of that great pronunciation, even if you make grammar mistakes. But if your grammar is perfect and your accent's bad, really hard to understand, it doesn't matter about your grammar. People will hear the really difficult accent and they will think, you're not such a good speaker. Maybe it's not fair, but that's just the truth. That's the truth. So again, especially in a business setting, if you're in business and you're using English, pronunciation will give you that instant respect that is very important sometimes in business and in business communication. Pronunciation, very important. So my new pronunciation course is opening in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I will give you a discount code, but you need to be on my email list. I will send an email with a discount code. It will give you a nice big discount for my course, my new pronunciation course. So, join my free email list. Go to effortlessenglish.com. That's it, effortlessenglish.com. enter your email. It's easy. Oh. And also at effortlessenglish.com, enter your email. You will get my audiobook for free. This book, the audio version, for free. Enter your email, effortlessenglish.com. All right, time to take some questions. Now I will read some of your comments. Ask me some questions. I prefer that you ask questions mostly about pronunciation since that's our topic today. So if you ask other questions, I might ignore them. Don't be insulted. Okay then. I love you. Thank you for everything. Well, thank you. I love you too. It's true. I'm in Ireland. In some places, their pronunciation's so different, I can't understand them. I understand Americans much better because of pronunciation. Yeah, well, you know, it's true. That's right. I had the same problem when I went to Ireland. There were some situations in Ireland where I really could not understand the Irish person speaking. They were speaking fast. They had this strong, perhaps regional Irish accent. And it would be very tough for me to understand a few times. Didn't happen always. There's kind of, again, a standard, more general light, I would call it, Irish accent that's easy to understand, but there can be very strong versions of it. And I had the same problem, right? So here we are, we're both native speakers, but they could understand me because the American accent is so common. This is the advantage, by the way, of the American accent. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Even people in England know the American accent because there's so many American movies, so much American television everywhere. So that's the big advantage of the American accent. Everyone understands that one. It's one of the reasons people say to me, "Oh, AJ, you're so easy to understand. Why do I understand you so easily?" It's because I have a very clear, standard American accent. I have the most common American accent, and that usually is the easiest one for most people, simply because they've heard it so much on television and movies. Okay, next, lots of people entering their emails. Not sure why. You have to enter your email at my website, not here, effortlessenglish.com. effortlessenglish.com. So after this, go to my website and enter your email. It won't work here on Facebook, sorry. Okay. Yeah, effortless English, just this, effortlessenglish.com. Effortless, all one word, effortlessenglish.com. That's all. Go to that website, enter your email. You get this audiobook for free. You'll get a discount code for my pronunciation course. What a deal! All right. Is it easier to focus on pronunciation more than other English language skills? Is it easier? Well, that I'm not sure about. Easier. Yes and no. It depends on your attitude, I think. You know, for like people who like to just sit and analyze and memorize, pronunciation's difficult. See, pronunciation's more like music. Right? It's more artistic. It's more like music. You got to hear it. You got to feel it. You can study about, you know, how to use your tongue. And in my course, I do teach you some of that. But mostly the course, I'm teaching you the feeling, the music. It's more like music training. So I think that's more fun. I think that's more enjoyable, actually. Better than studying grammar rules, right? So studying grammar rules, maybe it's kind of easy, but it's super, super, super boring, and it doesn't help you actually use better grammar, so it's useless. So I'm not sure. Easy, I don't know, but better for sure. Let's see, I just bought your book 2 months ago. Yay! Yes, I have a YouTube channel. It's just my name, AJ Hoge. No, take out the dots. AJHOGE. That's my YouTube channel. My name, AJ Hoge. Super easy. How long it takes to speak like a native speaker with a good accent? Okay, with a good accent. This is a great question. How long will it take? Well, my pronunciation course is, let me think how many weeks it is. I think it's a 4-month course, actually. No, maybe more. No, not quite that. It's like a 20 units, 21 units. Each unit is 5 days. Let's just say 4 months, 4 to 5 months, to have a nice, clear accent. Perfect? No, there's no perfect in life. We're never perfect. But nice and clear, I would say generally 4 months when you really follow my system. So you got to do it every day. You have to do exactly what I tell you each day in the course. Very important. This course is not just knowledge, not just listening. It's you're doing it. You're practicing it each day. Very important. Now the other point, very important with pronunciation, depends on your language. English pronunciation is quite easy, I think. Pretty easy for Spanish speakers, for example. Not so tough. For German speakers, not terribly tough. For Chinese speakers, much more difficult. For Japanese speakers, more difficult, right? Why? Because the languages are closer. So European language speakers will find English pronunciation a bit easier in general. Not always true, but generally. And again, Asian language speakers often find English pronunciation more difficult. So if your language is not close to English, maybe you need a bit more time. If your language is quite close to English, like a Spanish speaker, you may need less time for nice, clear pronunciation. Okay. You use British or American accent? American! I teach only American accent. This is something else a bit strange I've noticed. I looked on the internet and I noticed, I found a lot of people teaching pronunciation, English pronunciation. But I found something strange, very strange. A lot of these people are teaching accents they don't actually have. For example, I found an Australian woman, and she has a course teaching American English. That seems really weird to me, very strange. I think it's a bad idea to learn an American accent from an Australian. It's a very bad idea. Okay? For this reason, I do not teach the British accent. I will never teach the British accent. I'm American. I have a perfect American accent, of course. But I cannot teach you the British accent. I cannot teach you the Australian accent. If you really want an Australian accent, learn it from an Australian. If you really want a British accent, learn it from a British person. Okay? But if you want the American accent, here I am! Okay. Do I need to memorize the sounds of each word? No, it's not really about memorizing. It's more about... Think of music. And think of jazz music, because a conversation is more like jazz. Right? It's not like a song you play, you memorize each part. In a conversation, you don't know what's going to happen. They say something, you say something, it goes back and forth, constantly changing. That's a little like jazz music, right? Where each musician is doing something, they have to listen to the other musicians, each person's changing. Nobody knows exactly where it's going. It's that kind of thing. It's about listening first and hearing the music of English. The individual sounds, the rhythm, and also the feeling. And then it's practicing it, practicing it, practicing it. And not just little sounds, not just a little sound, not just one word, but you need to practice pronunciation with phrases. You need to practice pronunciation with full sentences. You need to practice pronunciation with full paragraphs. Right? Just saying one word correctly is not very useful. You need to be able to speak for a long time using correct pronunciation for the whole time. So that's why in my course you're going to use paragraphs and pages full of English to practice your pronunciation. And you're going to use your ears. You're not going... You'll have text. The text can help you if you need help. But really it's an ear training course. What do you think about using phrases to learn English? Well, you must. You must. That's what I think. How can I get your pronunciation course? sign up for my email. You will get an email in 2 weeks about my course. Again, go to my website, effortlessenglish.com. effortlessenglish.com. Enter your email there. In 2 weeks, I'll send you an email about the pronunciation course. And I'll give you a discount code so you get it cheaper. Long time no see, AJ. I love your course so much. Yay! Thank you. Oh, remember when you enter your email also at Effortless English, you get the audio book for free. So the same book, the text you have to buy. You have to buy if you want the actual physical book, you must buy it. Buy it on Amazon.com or Kobo.com. But the audio book, which is me reading this book out loud, that's free at effortlessenglish.com. Do I have a new book available in Vietnam yet? Not yet. I will. I'm planning my next book. Effortless English System really works. Yay! Good. Your eyes are so special. Well, thank you. I should be more serious, yes? We'll see. AJ, all of Egypt loves you. Yes, I know. We have a lot of Effortless English fans in Egypt. Actually, there's lots of different countries, but there's some I would like to visit that I've never been in the area. Egypt, we have a lot in Egypt. A lot in Egypt. Brazil and Colombia, lots and lots of Effortless English members. Iran, sometimes in America we say Iran, whichever. Iran, lots and lots of Effortless English fans, which is surprising to me because they can't buy my course because of all the political stuff, but lots and lots of members, lots of Effortless English fans in Iran, in fact. What other countries have a lot? Of course, immigrants in America and the United Kingdom and Canada as well. Japan, we have a lot. Italy is a big one. Russia, lots in Russia too. Several of the countries that America and Obama's trying to bomb or go to war with. Terrible. How can I buy your course? I'm from Algeria. We have a lot in Algeria too. Yeah. Want to say hi? My wife is going to say hi.
Hello.
Louder. Hello.
Hello.
There you go. Bye-bye.
Bye.
She's a quiet one, my wife. Yeah? She doesn't like to talk so much. Afghanistan. Yep. Very good. I'll take a few more questions. If you have any more questions about pronunciation in general, or my pronunciation course, which comes in 2 weeks. If not, then I'm going. By the way, I'm in Japan, in case you didn't notice. This is our little our apartment in Japan. That's a kimono on our wall back there. Okay, that is your wife. Yes, that is my wife. My wife is Japanese. Her name is Tomoe. Right? Tomoe.
Yes.
Tomoe.
Yeah.
Ichikawa-sama. Okay. She's very beautiful. I think so, too.
Thank you.
I'm from Palestine. I'm good in English. I can read a book of English without translation, but can I speak well? What can I do? Well, that's great. If you love reading and you're a good reader, that's good. So my suggestion, start listening to audiobooks. So, okay, if you read my book, great. But get the audiobook also. Then you're training your ears and your listening will improve. And eventually, your speaking also will improve. So if you love to read, no problem. Try to get the audio version, the audio book, for all the books you read, or for most of them. She said, someone says you look Vietnamese. Some people say she looks Chinese. But she's Japanese. Nihonjin desu yo. Now, where do you live? We are in Osaka. Osaka, Japan. I have your book. It's brilliant. Well, thank you very much. That's very nice. Thank you. See, I can do. Water. Oh, how can I pronounce the R's like water? Computer. Computer. Well, that's a really good question. It's a little hard for me to teach it right now. This is one of the units in the course is all about these R sounds, especially at the ends of words. This is a very strong part, a very important part of the American accent, especially. The British people sometimes drop their R sounds. Wada. I can't do a British accent, so sorry. But the Brits often will make their final R sounds weak or drop them. But Americans are usually the opposite. We usually make that R sound at the end of words very strong. Water, that sound is a very common and important part of American English, of the American pronunciation and accent. Computer, water, shower. There's so many words that end this way. And so it's important to learn that. That You know, it takes a long time to teach you this, but basically you're rolling your tongue back a bit, to the top, So your tongue is going back, water, water, water. And then you need to train that. It's not enough to just practice it one time. You got to train this sound for a week, 2 weeks, practicing it again and again. I mean, this is why you need a course for it. Or you can do it yourself, but again, even without a course, but you got to train this, practice it. It's just like a sport, right? It's just like playing a musical instrument. That repetition and training is very important. It's not enough just to know what to do with your tongue. You can't think about your tongue when you're speaking in a conversation. There's no time. So you need to get the feeling of it. It's more about getting the feeling of the correct pronunciation. So yes, you can practice it with your tongue. You can practice some other tips I'll teach you later. But mostly you want to focus on how it feels. The feeling you can do quickly. Thinking about the different things is too slow. So I'll teach you how to do that. Don't worry. I love listening, but I can't read a long time. What can I do? It's okay, just listen more. It's no problem. You don't have to read a lot. Especially, reading is great for vocabulary. That's the best thing about reading, vocabulary. And also there's some great books out there, right? Lots of great books, lots of great ideas come from books. But if you prefer listening, just get the audiobooks. That's easy. So listen to books instead of reading them. That's fine. You'll still learn a lot of vocabulary. You'll get all those great ideas and stories, whatever you love about books. So that's fine. Just listen. How to teach English to a beginning learner. Well, this depends actually a lot. But with children, really any beginners if you're patient, you can just talk to them in English. Like when, I'm going to have some water. When parents ask me, how do I teach English to my kid? I tell them just speak to them in English a couple hours a day, a few hours a day. You can have English time every day. And you just play with them but you always use English. They can speak their own language. Don't pressure them to speak English. That's not good. With beginners and with children, no force, no pressuring about English. Let them speak their own language. It's okay. But you always use English. You can call it English time. Make it a game. Make it fun. Just play with them. I don't know. Play games. Read storybooks that are in English. Watch little funny cartoons that are in English. And most of all, just talk to them just like when they were babies, but using English. If you do this, when you do this, a few hours a day, your kid, even if it's an adult actually, the beginner, will very naturally learn English without stress, without lessons, none of that. When they become intermediate level, then you can have them, they can do one of my courses or something. But at the beginning level, that's all you need to do. Make it painless. You told us in the lesson of Taoism that it's pronounced Taoism, not Taoism. Yeah, that's right. Don't ask me why. I don't know why, but it's pronounced Taoism. Actually, I kind of have a guess as to why. So this is a great example of why you must learn pronunciation with your ears. Ear training, not eyes. Your eyes cannot be trusted for pronunciation in English. Do not trust your eyes. You know this already, I think, because the spelling of English words is difficult. It's complicated. And many times you look at a word, you're not quite sure how to say it. Even if you use the dictionary, even when you use a phonetic alphabet, it can still be a bit confusing. How does it really sound? Well, just listen. If you hear someone say it correctly, if you hear a native speaker say it, you instantly know the correct pronunciation. So learn pronunciation with your ears. Don't try to do it with your eyes. This word Taoism is a great example. It starts with a T. Taoism. It's a system of philosophy, a spiritual system from China. It's spelled with a T, but pronounced as a D. Duh. This confuses native speakers sometimes, too. They see it written. If they don't know what it is, they'll pronounce it Taoism with a T. But that's not the correct pronunciation.
Mandarin is
How you say?
Dao.
Dao. Right. So it comes from Mandarin Chinese, pronounced with more of a D sound, right? Right.
Yeah.
So the Chinese word is pronounced with a D, the D sound at the beginning. So basically what happened is somebody was trying to write down the Chinese, and I don't know, the first person who did this used a T instead of a D. Maybe they didn't hear it correctly, I don't know why, but now it's spelled with the T, unfortunately. Very confusing. If you learn it from listening, there's no problem. You instantly know Taoism. You hear it, you know how to pronounce it correctly. Later you can learn the spelling. But if you try to learn it with your eyes, you'll be very confused. Taoism, why is it? It should be a T, right? No. And there are many different weird, strange things in English like this. The spelling system is not great, very confusing sometimes, so don't trust the spelling, trust your ears. Why are you not making new videos on YouTube? Oh, they're coming soon. Next week I will have some new videos. I'm making at least 2, probably 3. Computer. How to pronounce computers. Say it slowly. Computer. Often has a duh sound. Again, don't trust your eyes. Computer. Computer. It actually, a little bit of a d, not t, not computer. That's not wrong, but the more common pronunciation for Americans is computer. 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 Again, trust your ears, don't trust your eyes. Okay, good question. I have problems watching American movies. Sometimes I can't understand what they're saying. They speak very fast. Same with songs. What should I do? Well, I would say that, well, first of all, get my book, Follow the Movie Technique. In my book, I tell you how to use movies and TV shows to improve your English. There's a whole technique. I'm not going to explain it now. It takes too long to explain, but the basic idea is you're going to repeat scenes, repeat parts of the movie many times. Just watching a movie one time, yeah, too fast, too difficult for most people. When you're very advanced, no problem, but for most people learning English, just watching TV or a movie one time, first time, too fast, too difficult. So record it. Watch it many times, part by part, and use the English subtitles in the beginning. Eventually you can turn them off, but in the beginning, they can be helpful. All right, I'll take a couple more questions, then I'm going to go. Thank you, by the way, for all of your questions. Very good questions and comments. How can I buy your books? That's easy. just go to my website. I have links to different booksellers. Kobo.com, Amazon.com. My website, the book website, is effortlessenglish.com. Effortlessenglish.com. I have links to different booksellers. Okay. How to speak like a native speaker? Well, again, there are many things you need to work on for this, but I would say that pronunciation is probably the number one thing for sounding like a native speaker. I don't know if you were here before, but the story I was telling about Vietnam, right? I met that girl in Vietnam. She sounded like a native speaker. 10 seconds. She spoke 10 seconds. Just a couple sentences. And immediately I thought, wow, she sounds like a native speaker. Immediately I thought she grew up in America. And she didn't grow up in America, actually. She didn't, but she lived there for a few years. Went to university in America, and her accent was perfect. She sounded like a native speaker because of her accent. I don't know. Maybe she made some grammar mistakes. I don't remember. I think she spoke very well, actually. But the number one thing that makes you sound like a native speaker is your pronunciation. If you have perfect American pronunciation and you travel to America, most people will think you're American. Even if your grammar's kind of bad, most people will think you're American if you have the accent. They'll just think you grew up there. Why you're not popular in Europe but in Asia? But I am popular in Europe. Thank you very much. We have lots and lots of members in Europe, actually. In fact, I'd say we actually have more members in Europe. It's just that on social media, especially Facebook, tends to be more in Asia. I don't know why that is. I'm not sure. Like on my Twitter account, it's more Europeans. Much more. Lots of Italians follow me on Twitter. Got some Russians, various Eastern European countries, lots of Europeans on my Twitter account. But on Facebook, it's lots of people, Middle East and Asia, all through Asia. So I don't know, it's strange. I guess Facebook's more popular in different parts of Asia and Twitter in Europe. I don't know. Not sure. So it really just depends on which channel I'm using. You're famous in the English Village in Indonesia. English Village. I know about English Village in Indonesia. I want to visit that place. I've heard about it. I've heard a lot about English Village Pare. Is that right? I believe it's called. I want to visit there. Sounds like a very interesting place. This English Village, I'll tell everybody else about this. This is a cool idea. So, I can't remember, some Indonesian guy, English teacher I guess, some Indonesian guy decided it would be a great idea, let's make a village, a little tiny town, where everybody speaks English, inside Indonesia, where they don't speak English, right? So we're going to make this little tiny town, and we'll have lots and lots and lots of English clubs and English schools and English institutes, and just tons and tons of English everywhere. So then people can come to this, Indonesians mostly, can come to this village, to this town, and they can just use English all the time and really improve their English quickly. It's kind of a cool idea. I like it. And it's called English Village Pare, I believe. I've never been there, but I have heard a lot about it. It sounds like a very cool place, very interesting idea. I can't remember the name of the guy who created it, who founded it, but very interesting idea. And I think he's still there, the last I knew. So anyway, if you're Indonesian, in the comments you can maybe write his name and the name of the village. I believe English Village Pare. I think it's on Java, Eastern Java, if I'm right, which isn't the island. Okay, guys, I think it's time for... I'm getting a little hungry again. I'm a little hungry again.
Okay.
Tomoe-chan.
Okay.
Oh, my stomach. I need some food. Gotta put some food in my stomach. All right. Brazil. Oh, yeah, Brazil. I gotta go to Brazil, man. I gotta go. It's in East Java. I was right. Woohoo. Yeah, Brazil. You know, I'll be honest, though. I want to meet all the fun, cool Brazilian Effortless English fans and members. We have a lot. Effortless English is very, very popular in Brazil. But I also, selfishly, I want to go kite surfing in Brazil. Because I know Brazil has some great beaches. Brazil has a great surfing and kite surfing culture. One of the great kite companies has a Brazilian name, Cabrinha. That's the kite I have. In fact, I have a Cabrinha, 2 Cabrinha kites and a Cabrinha board. So, teach a little English in Brazil and do some kite surfing too. That's my plan for Brazil someday. Okay. Alright, guys, thank you. Yeah, do you know English? Do I know Pare? So I'm right. Pare, East Java. I was correct, see? Pare, East Java. So if you want to go to visit the English village in Indonesia, go to the island of Java. Kind of the most populated one, I believe. I believe that's the one that has Jakarta. Go to the east part, which is not too, Bali is the next island over. So if you do a vacation to Bali, you could jump over to East Java and go visit English village, Pare. That's my plan someday. I have a friend who lives in Bali, so maybe go to Bali, do some kite surfing, of course, play some golf, swim around in the ocean, visit my friend, and then go over to East Java and visit English village Pare. That's a future vacation right there. How often do you live stream on Facebook like this? I don't have a schedule. I just do it when I feel like doing it. So, no plan. Alright, guys. Am I still in Vietnam? Last question. No, I'm not. I am now back in Japan. I am in Japan. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much. I had a great time chatting with you about pronunciation today. So I will... Tomoe was playing a video. I had a great time talking with you today. Thank you so much. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the questions. I'll do this again. I'll do this again in I don't know, a few days. Like I said, I just get on Facebook when I have the feeling to do it. When I have something I want to talk about or just have a good feeling. So, just watch my Facebook. I'll be on again. Thanks again. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you next time. Finally, for those of you who missed it, go to effortlessenglish.com. So just effortlessenglish.com. Enter your email. In the middle of the page, enter your email. And you'll get a free audiobook. This book, the audio, the listening, for free. Free. And also, in 2 weeks, I will send you a discount code for my new pronunciation course. So, if you want the pronunciation course and you want the discount, you need to be on my email list. So please join at effortlessenglish.com. I send you other good stuff too. Alright, guys, have a great evening or night, whatever it is for you. Lots of love. Goodbye for now from Japan. Bye-bye. Should I say sayonara? Mata ne!